the GameStar HGC ANZ qualifiers. This is a fantastic night of HOTS we've got planned. My name's Kit Fox. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host for this evening. We've got an even better team running the cogs behind the scene tonight. We've got Crisis as the producer. We've got Evexium and Grumpshot as your tournament admins. We've got the ANZ Gilly Knot waiting to cast your matches as well. And GL Phoenix will be standing by to do those offline VODs that we can't actually feature on stream. So shout out to everybody involved tonight. It is an action-packed night ahead. We have got 2 best of 3s coming at you with potentially more than that. Say if another game of the potential round goes to the third game, we'll be bringing that for you for your viewing pleasure as well, because dead air sucks and games are just so much better. It wouldn't be a GameStar cast without plenty of giveaways, thanks to our friends over at Blizzard ANZ. Also, tonight we have got 2 12 loot chest bundles to give away. So once prompted in the Twitch chat, type !GS HOTS. You know the drill, and you'll get your chance to get your hands on some sweet swags again, thanks to those lads over at Blizzard ANZ. The first game that we're going to be featuring tonight will be Darksided versus NMD. Nomiya will be featuring in the other match that GL Phoenix will be recording. You can see all that on YouTube at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast. But without further ado, we're going to jump straight into this one. Like I said, it's going to be Darksided and NMD. So I'm going to pass you back over to your casters. This man is known as Rap God for his ability to spit over 10,000 words in under 10 seconds. But he's been known to steal your girl even faster than that. I'm talking about Skimmy, and he is joined by the best analyst, ANZ Vandy.
Kev Fox, good to have you back in the country, mate, and you're still full of the banter. Vandy, how are you tonight?
I'm super well. Like you said, was missing Kit Fox from last week, so I'm super glad he's back, and I'm ready to get stuck into some HOTS.
Yeah, Crisis is a good host, but he's nothing compared to Kit Fox. We love a little bit of Aussie influence.
Stop it.
Got to give him that flirtation, but let's jump into it, right? Let's go into this one. It is going to be Darksided up against NMD. We haven't seen this one since week 1 on stream. And this one, last time, went 2-0 quite convincingly in favor of the Darksided boys. Now, to give you a bit of history leading into this one, we had Darksided opting for the map itself. They went for Tomb of the Spider Queen, allowing NMD to get first pick. Sky Temple and Dragonshire were banned away.
Exactly that, Skimmy. So it's really interesting when teams actually let this map through, because Darksided have quickly established this as the map for them, their map to beat, essentially. And they have a very impressive track record on it. I think they've only dropped 1 game in this entire season, and that might have been to Nomiya. And it was a very, very close one. So, like I said, it's going to be whether NMD, they feel confident enough to do it. They need to draft very, very smart, because as I said, Darksided definitely have the advantage going into this one.
Yeah, I'd had to check to see actually what the exact numbers are on that one. But yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. Tomb of the Spider Queen just finding so much love, and for one reason and one reason in particular, especially that Chromie pick. Hacky, such a renowned player on it. We say it every single time we come to this map. But there's a reason behind it. Zul, also a big pocket pick for Zul, for Demise. The guaranteed route that then allows the full combination to come out of Chromie, which is going to be getting buffed very shortly as well. Speaking of new changes, Garrosh has been taken out. We didn't see him at all last week during the playoffs. He got some playtime during the Open Division, but it's good to see that teams are starting to value it a little bit more going to the second week of him being competitively available.
It normally always takes about that week for the dust to settle after the character has been enabled for competitive play, as teams start to, like you said, get him involved in scrims, start to get a feel for him, learn what build, more importantly, will work for him. And I think we might get to see some Garrosh action. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because, you and I were talking about it earlier off air. We like what he brings. I'm still waiting to see how he falls into it, but you've got his back. He's your boy, and I want to see it happen. But let's talk about these picks. As you said, Zul, Skimmy, great pusher on this map, and effectively he can continuously push really hard and force rotations that regard. Muradin doesn't really give anything away. Robodova, it is one of his more favorite tanks in the lineup, so I'm expecting to see him on that. But then the Tassadar, Malthael, and Greymane now picks on the side of NMD.
Yeah, these seem to be pretty characteristic On the side of NMD, Vikrak was really well known for his Malthael as well. Such a strong hero. Really suggests on this map, because he's not known for his wave clear, is saying that, look, hey, I'm just going to be looking to fight. I'm looking to win that 1v1 trade, alleviate a lot of the pressure, maybe even draw some resources from the opposition, which makes that 4-man rotation or whatever the lane setup be a lot weaker in that case. And if he's comfortable taking that 1v1 or even that 2v1, obviously that allows the remaining members on his team to do so much more with it, as you especially have the likes of, say, Vala Oriel. But Arthas is going to be taken off the board here. This is a pocket pick. This is a ban that we've seen for a very long time, dating all the way back to Season 3 for Darksided. Every single time they know they want to play these aggressive comps, and Arthas shuts down all of that.
That's essentially their technique or their strategy. If Arthas is taken away, then, like you said, they feel more confident running these aggressive comps. And it's either going to be a ban or a pickup for themselves. So once again, this indicates that they had no intention of picking him and just opens up, waits to see what else that they want to roll with, depending on the ban that comes out. That Tacita, the precedence, I guess, and priority on Tacita that we've seen teams. I mean, last week we saw there was just really no stock standard out of the bans coming out on Oriel and Tacita. This week it seems to be a bit different. So Oriel, because of the changes that have come through for her, she has had a little bit of her healing reduced in the form of Ray of Heaven, the 2-second cooldown that's been completely removed as a talent option at level 7.
They are actually going to leave the Oriel available. Uf is going to be taken off the board here. And this is interesting because last week we saw a bit of a variation. Mages haven't been played for a very long time apart from the Chromia, but we saw an Oriel and a Gul'dan first rotation against Nomia when it came to Tomb of the Spider Queen. And that was a map that Darksided won, and they won it hard. And that was going into a Grey main comp, a comp that was looking to dive in. Very similar set of circumstances compared to that game against Nomia. So I would not be surprised. It's something that we've seen ANZ for a long time do, where they prefer wave clear over initiation. And if you're good at timing out when you want to hand in those gems for the objective itself, you can get those big power spikes, right, with the XP to allow you to reach level 10, 13, whatever it might be, and just snowball the game out of control as a result. Zul would obviously complement everything they have going for them so far and just do so much against a comp that's looking to find kills, that in NMD.
Exactly right. With that Zul, as I said, you just push for days essentially and force that rotation, similar to what Malthael is going to bring. But even with Zul, what he has the addition of being able to do is he can actually take 2 lanes by himself quite comfortably. That's just how good his push is. And then it really frees up the rest of your team to go that 4-man rotation and see if you can really pressure it, get some siege going like that. And it can be quite hard to respond to. As you said, you can effectively run away with the game like that. With the next 2 picks, we're seeing Malfurion and Gul'dan. So that Malfurion, great crowd control, great follow-up to what Muradin can bring with the entangling roots, as well as he has the ability to get that Twilight Dream, which is super important, especially if you're getting dived upon. So when the Malthael and Greymane go in, you can really lock them up and deter them. And the Gul'dan similar as well, Horrified, great crowd control coming in, and also great poke. Gul'dan's quite favoured on this map because of that.
Yeah, I'm really happy they've actually gone for the Gul'dan here. Found them so much success last week, so why not do it again? And the Malfurion adaptation, as opposed to the Oriel, I'm liking it because it means they have a guaranteed CC follow-up to the Zul, to the Muradin, and then the Twilight Dream to slow anything down. If Malthael or Greymane jumps in, they have to be sure as that when they go in, they can get out, because if that Twilight Dream connects, they are stuck. And that gives them so much turnaround potential. But it's going to be the Ragnaros once again. I mean, this is literally a blast to the past. We always meme on about what Sashin can do with this hero when he plays it. But, I mean, it comes to it. Lava Wave, it's a meme, but at the same time, it seems to find these boys so much success. Wave Clear really is what Darksided are going for, and what beat Nomia.
As you said, Darkseid, they've really forged a name for themselves on this map with their strategies. If they don't get that Chromie, there's still a couple of little trump cards up their sleeve, one of them being that Ragnaros and that Lava Wave. Sashin really coining that, really bringing that heroic back on the map after we saw a lot of teams, internationally as well as both locally, really opting for that Sulfurous Smash. I mean, we've got to wait and see how this one goes out. Like you said, with the Malfurion and the Twilight Dream, I'm just a little bit worried about how these team fights will unfold with Vikrak once he jumps in there. Same as Ninja. Are they going to get the job done, or will they just get shut down? That's what they really need to be smart about in these fights.
If we compare it side by side, yeah, you obviously got the framing for Darksided, looking for wave clear, looking to stay back, keep safe, and not be jumped upon and not fall too far behind pre-level 10, whereas really it's on the guys from NMD to try and get some momentum built up, get the steam going, get some kills, and try and carry away with it. Whenever somebody dies, they need to maximize the value from it. But let's jump into it, guys. Week number 3. This is the very first game in the best of 3 series. And we'll kick it off with this team on the right-hand side. It's the team NMD, currently tied for 3rd place in the rankings, and it is team captain Hiccup. He's going to be tanking on Diablo Malfield, played by Vikrak. Rhaegar is played by Lahal. Ninja on Greymane, and Physics finishes off the comp as Tassida.
And the boys in blue, these guys, dark-sided, they've been showing us week after week that they want to be number 1, with Haki on Gul'dan, Sashin on Ragnaros, Robodoba playing Muradin, Demise on Zul, and Moops playing Malfurion.
What I'm really looking forward to seeing this game, Vandy, is just how NMD posture themselves. They have to know, they have to realize that they just cannot win when it comes to the wave play. They need to try and force fights, and exactly what they're going to do. Hiccup gets the alley-oop. He goes around from downtown looking for Robodoba. A lot of damage comes across him, partly due to Reaper's Mark from Vikrak, who was actually deterred by the other 4 members from the top side of that one. But the level 1, they didn't find the kills, but they sent a message to start off with.
That's right. They are showing that they need to play this one aggressively, because if they are passive, that's going to be how they lose this one. That's great flip going out by Hiccup, and this time they get the kill.
Fantastic stuff there by NMD. Not even a minute into this one, and they find the first blood, and that's what they need to do. And if they can find more like that, then this wave clear is not going to be a major factor, not a major threat for them to actually deal with.
Absolutely, Skimmy. And I mean, if we talk about how the matchup's going to go, we do have Vikrak in that bottom lane versus Sashin. Ragnaros, he should be able to hold his own. They do have enough sustain. It just depends on a skill matchup, that one, on who will come out supreme. But both of them, because they can be quite immobile, need to watch out for ganks, more importantly.
And absolutely, I mean, it's really going to come down to how successful NMD can be in this 4-man rotation. They found one so far. They're doing a bit of bullying, commanding that middle area where the hand-in is, which is fantastic. If they can sort of control that for the most part, they can get more kills, which is what they're looking to do once again onto Haki. Then this one is going to start to snowball out of control. They need to accrue at least a 1-level lead leading into that level 10 to try and command this pressure. Otherwise, that wave clear is just going to do so much against them. But as you mentioned, yeah, Vikrak already forced to back away, and Ragnaros gets control of Sashin.
He does, and I think, Vikrak getting quite low there. I think a lot of that just happens as well with how Zul, how much he's pushing. I wonder, because they're playing it as a 4-man roam, they're trying to get Vikrak to see if he can soak both lanes instead of just keeping him in that bottom lane. They're more interested in kills, as we said. That's really going to be how they can free themselves up and how they can best win in this one.
Once again, whenever that Shadow Charge combo is available, he is going in and he is not afraid to do it, but he's going to get punished as a result. That's the route to make sure that he cannot run away. And that's what we were discussing during the draft. If you are going in, you need to make sure you have a backup plan. You need to make sure you're trading at least 1-for-1 moops with the route. Evens things out here for Darksided.
Yeah, they're starting to sort of sense what's coming their way and how to best respond on it. This time, he bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Demise, he's turning in their gems now. It's going to be a race to see who can get their gems in first, and that it'll look to be who has the better sieging potential. I mean, if we look at both teams, they seem quite evenly matched in that regard.
Demise has no mana. He's a bit of a sitting duck right now. Going to take one tower shot to the face, but there's no follow-up. Ninja is zoned away with the root himself. He's going to get slowed on down by the Templar as well. But Demise survives on 250 health. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Vikrak was doing a lot of work, forcing Sashin to back on out. He can even out that lane, and he can start to get some turret pressure.
He can, and we're already seeing an early quest completed with Pursuit of Flame already completed by Haki. That's some extra radius on his Fell Flame netted, so that's a nice little power spike for him, and that's what we want to see. If you can stack it that easily, it's because of how grouped up the NMD boys have been.
Yeah, I mean, you've got so much cleave potential for him, so this is really going to start to hurt as the game progresses on. Not only with the wave clear, but just during the team fights, you can get that off so many different times. And if you even use the Malfurion Innovate, it just becomes disastrous. It's almost like a machine gun just firing off Fell Flames 24/7.
Effectively, yes. We can see a lot of action happening around the turn-in points, and really that comes down to both teams. They are aware that their NMD boys are playing it quite hyper-aggressively, so any chance that they can get to try and turn their gems in, they will. Otherwise, they do risk losing them.
Starting connects.
On Physics.
He tried to juke it, but he cannot. Dimensional Shift isn't available, and he's just going to be an easy picking. The second kill picked up here by Darkseid. I was just going to comment on how close the XP was, and it needs to be in favor of NMD right now as Hiccup joins the fight once again, looking for the overpower, but he gets met with a Bone Prism. And this is really going to come down to how Moops can play this one. We talked about Demise with his root, but if Moops can shut things down with the Entangling route, that really prevents the likes of Ninja, especially from actually being able to jump on in with that Worgen form.
That's that anti-dive we were talking about, and it's great to see Moops is aware of it. He needs to make every entangling roots count. Because of that kill that they picked up as well, the Darksided boys are able to win the race to get the first turn in. And now you can see they will be wanting to do a huge amount of siege, really utilize what Gul'dan can bring.
And they actually do have fantastic cleave. I say they had the ability to push on. They got level 7 as a result of that turn in as well. Not going to find too much value in this top lane. I mean, they're sitting around for a little bit. Zul was actually posturing to go through to the mid lane, but they go, no, we want to try and force a fight. Robodover does get flipped, but he does jump right back out. The Bone Prism connects, and the route to follow. It's a double route. They are low, and Ninja, he's down to 90 health, but he's toying with death itself. He has Vikrak on his team as Malfiel, but he does not want to fall prey to that.
He really doesn't. The fact that he lived to tell the tale. This is enough breathing room for Darksider now. Look at how aggressively positioned they are. They know that the Web Weaver is still healthy, still taking the shots for them. They want to get a kill, but if they overcommit here, it could be disastrous. Finally, after putting a nice bit of siege, the first turn-in of the Web Weaver is over, and it really did net them quite a nice bit of experience, up a level now.
Yeah, this hurts NMD, as you said, one level up in their favour. That's meaning they're going to win that level 10 race quite comfortably if things keep up as such. But there is enough gems in the bank right now for them to turn things around. 45 currently submitted, 41 in the bank. And it's a case of when they want to choose that moment. They're going to go for their night camp, try and get some mid lane pressure to even things out. And you may expect to see them try and sneak in through the bottom section of the map where they can then rotate through and potentially get a kill on session, denying XP.
I love how they played this one by getting their night camp first. They're just showing that they're really not too fast. They're not panicking yet because they do have more than enough gems for that turn. Now it really comes down to whether Darkseid can stall or really deny them from turning in. This is that cat and mouse game that can really unfold in Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Team split at the moment. It's a 2v2 and a 3v3 as both hand-ins are contested and both teams unsure where the action may just pop on off. It's level 9.5 for Darksided right now, and if a hand-in comes across, it's going to be too little too late. It's coming in now, but I mean, NMD need to find some serious value because as soon as the siege begins, level 10 is going to be there.
There was enough stall on the side of Darksided, as you said, to really wait, and this is a little bit disastrous now. This is not what NMD wanted to start off their siege.
Molten Core is using it, nets the first kill. They hit level 10, and I mean, Sashin is just raining fire from above. He picks up one to start it off with, but he nearly picked up a second kill onto Physics, forced to use that well tap very early on. Lava Wave gonna come across. The memes are real here in ANZ, but it does work, and it's really solidifying what they've achieved so far. The Horrify starting it off. The rune is there, and Ninja, there is no way for him to survive. He falls on down as they look for a second onto Lahal, and he's now running. He's doing whatever he can, but it's 2 kills, and it's just too easy.
That really punishes the NMD quite a lot. And why I say this, it means now that they cannot siege with their web weaves, effectively nullifying what that turn-in would have brought them. And it was so important for them to get the experience, to get at least a kill, or if not get a kill, to not die. This was going to be the do or die. And that's what Darksided, that's what they knew, that's what they really read into. And that's why they went so aggressive for the kills. They knew they had the advantage because they were going to hit that all-important level 10 first and unlock their heroics.
So that strategy element comes into play right now. So those gems handed in haven't found them any value. They've only now hit 10 just through passive XP alone. Looking now to try and turn things around. They need to find a fight before the next chapter is involved. Level 13 will obviously be the next area that Darkseid are looking for. They have 43 out of 55 currently handed in for that Web Weaver phase. I'm expecting to see them force a fight. They have to try and get some control of this hand in. 10 are being currently handed in by Robodover. They're going to have enough here. It's just going to be a free contest. Unless the APOC comes out, they go for the fight. The 4-man collapse into the bot lane. A great play denying the solo XP. But is it going to be enough? It's not. The Web Weavers have spawned, Vandy.
But look at this trade happening. In the mid lane, it's Vikarak that gets traded out. So it's Sashin for Vikarak. Both the solo laners are now down. However, we do have the Web Weavers spawning on the side of Darkseid. It's going to be equal. Without that Sashin, however, they are down that all-important lava wave, which Sashin can use to get the Web Weavers pushing even harder. So that's the strategy right there. You just make sure that your Web Weavers can really push. If the NMD boys can clear out this Web Weaver so that they only have one to worry about, once again, it will help nullify a lot of the effects, a lot of the experience that Darkseid would gain as a result.
So 1-for-1, but still in favour of Darkseid as they reach that level 13 mark. The fort is going to fall, and the 13 talent tier is going to become unlocked. They are looking for a desperation play right now. You can see that's what they're trying to achieve. Love Wave is going to come on cross, and it's going to look to try and achieve so much damage. Session is there, and they're feared to follow things up as Robodover dives on deep, and Vekrak has an answer for it. The Reaper's Mark going to apply some pressure, but here comes the Lava Wave. Only going to connect with one, but one is just all it takes. Ninja just manages to survive as he runs on through with the shield available. But, I mean, NMD, they're playing catch-up. They're having to play defense, and they don't really have the best defense comp.
They don't. That's really it. I mean, they do have the shred, they do have the team fight, but where they are really sorely lacking is that they just cannot push back their waves quick enough to deal with what Darkseid is hammering and bringing out to them. I mean, you've got Sashin on the Ragnaros, you've got Demise on Azul, and you have Hacky. That's just so much wave clear potential that you're dealing with, as well as Poke. And then on their side, all they really have is just Malfield, but not really. Only if he can get into melee range. Ninja is the only one who can push back quite safely.
3-level lead right now for the guys of Darkseid, and then a lot of that comes, in fact, to the wave play we've been mentioning all game long. 4 kills to boot, not to mention the structural differences as well. Every single fort right now for Darkseid is alive. Their base practically untouched, as level 12 is the go-to right now for NMD. They're going to pick up their Knights once again. Not the most impactful on this map in particular, but all hands have to be on deck. They need to get 13. Soak, do whatever they can, minimize their losses, hit that talent tier, and go back to what they're trying to achieve during the early game. Find a kill. If they can get a 1-for-2 trade, anything desirable working in their favor. It works insurmountable in their favor. Robodobe is going to be the catch target with the Cursed Bullet, but there's just no follow-up van inserting.
I mean, as a result, though, they need to also be cautious because they are fighting down a talent tier advantage, down a level. So, I mean, although it's great that they're trying to be aggressive, it needs to be within reason. The APOC, it's good, but it doesn't have any connection.
Bone Prism actually prevented them doing the full combo. The Lahal cleanse wasn't there to make sure that it connected. And, I mean, those are cooldowns burnt for free now. Poison Nova for APOC, both 80-second cooldowns, both big influences in how this works. But, I mean, I would be saying APOC would be a far worse trade to make for that. And it forced them to play defense again. They're about to hit 13, but they can't do anything with it.
As I said, I mean, the APOC was good because it did hit a couple members, but it was more that he couldn't get the combo. Hiccup was then just left sitting. And like you said, big cooldown burn, 90 seconds, punishes NMD a lot more. They have actually got level 13, but if they continue to play this one passively, now we can see Darkseid, they're well cemented to hit 16 quite soon.
And in coming across once again, 4 members of Darkseid uncontested at this hand-in. As level 13 is there, a small window for the boys of NMD to try and exploit within 40 seconds on the APOC. Everything else is available, however, so if they can just get a Shadow Charge combo into a wall potentially, they can try and look for that instant interrupt. There's no Aegis, there's no Divine Shield, there's no potential to prevent that one-shot. That can come across from the Cursed Bullet, as they now begin their own affair with the hand-ins. They're looking for that 1v1. Vekrak has Sashin, but suddenly Hiccup goes for the peel. He goes for Robodoba. Ninja on the side, the root is there. He's running straight into it, and Demise won't waste time with this one. The Cursed Strikes is going to slow down that attack speed, Vandy. I've got tension. I mean, this is a back and forth. Vekrak has no mana. He's completely exposed on left. 3 members ready to go on top of him. Poison Over going to find insane value as Lahal is doing whatever he can to keep them alive, but it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade right now. Malthael for Zul, the Ancestral connection that does work. Fear going to get juked as the APOC comes across, and this is what NMD have been looking for, and they're going to get rewarded.
I love what NMD are bringing now. They're not yet done. Another kill falls. Moves is the next. Robodoba forced to back on out, and that's going to seal the deal. So if one goes down, Vekrak is lost in that fight, but they pick up 3 members of Darkseid. And now it's actually looking like NMD's game. This was the fight they finally needed, the breathing room that they needed.
And look at the margins of the XP. 16 only now picked up the smallest of windows. And I've been begging, pleading with NMD, telepathically, Caster's Curse, if you will, saying, please just fight. You need to win. You just lose if you just constantly get pushed against, or if you just constantly just try and force fights that just aren't scrappy. But they make it work. The Red Web Weavers to actually accelerate what just worked for them as well. And that 16 advantage, Darkseid can't do anything with it. They're going to hit 16 on NMD's side as a result of these Web Weavers.
They are, and more importantly, the heroic cooldowns are still resetting on the side of Darkseid, so that really favors NMD in that regard. That APOC, I'm so glad the second time it came around, Hiccup executed it perfectly. That's what we wanted to see. And a lot of how that fight was enabled was Physics finally got the Dream Force Wall to segment 2 members of the Darkseid team. As long as they can do that, they can use Force Wall to their advantage. This is such a small map. They need to be able to split up the members of Darkseid like that, and that's how they're truly going to capitalize in these team fights.
And splitting up they are, but as a result, Darksider's wave clear, they make easy work of those web weavers. Now transitioning to the bottom lane, Molten Core does get popped off, and the swing of the hammer going to find some value as Hiccup comes across. He knows where Session's going to spawn, the lava wave's going to connect, and that's going to get insane value. The fear, there's no cleanse, no potential to survive. Lahal is taking passive poison damage to stun. Robodobo is hunting, he connects there in a choke. This is dangerous stuff right now. Lahal, the first one to fall, as Tormented Souls jumping into the backline. Vikrak looking to apply that Reaper's Mark on as many people as possible, but it's not going to be enough. Zul trades his life for free. Members of NMD, they say, we have the wave clear, we have the team fight, and we have the delays. The fourth member to fall for NMD right now, and now Darksided can look to try and push for a keep.
NMD got so punished for their aggression right there, and a lot of where that came to play was that they did not interrupt Sashin as he was channeling the Molten Core. They thought they had enough damage to interrupt it, not only take it down, but also to finish off the job afterwards, but they didn't. It was that Horrify from hacking. That's really that anti-dive synergy that I'm talking about. If you get caught under there, you will get punished by Darkseid, so they really played into Darkseid's strengths right there. They should have respected what Molten Core was going to bring, and as a result, like I said, they just got so punished. Lahal got instantly taken out of the fight, and with no healer, we can start to see the rest. Boss call now being made on the side of Darksided. That's going to be some great push and synergy, because now it's going to be escorted in by the Web Weavers.
Boss Web Weavers, 18 and 20 to come very shortly, and with the wave clear we've seen, they can do so much work to these waves that 20 really, realistically, won't be too far away. They're going to begin the siege on this top lane. That's where the boss is heading towards, and that keeper's already naked, and this is what NMD have to do. They realize that this is their win condition. They cannot look just to passively play. They die at the keep, they're dead. Core is going to come across, but that's the fear, and it's looking to try and find one, and Diablo's the first one to fall. He'll be up. The 100 stacks are ready to bring him back to life. Vikrak split from the team. So 1-0 trade as Rhaegar does fall as well. So despairing right now for NMD as Ninja is forced to back out as well. They're split. I mean, Vikrak's doing whatever he can, but the Twilight Dream comes across. Moop's making the MVP play, and support's popping off.
He is. The fact that he's managing to stay alive for so long as well, this is going to be do or die, and unfortunately it's going to fall, because NMD, I believe their core is going to go down. With this final push, there's just too many members of Darkseid. The boss is getting escorted in. It's way too much for that. Like you said, Skimmy, they needed to win that fight, and what happened was that they got way too segmented. They're burning too many resources and not getting the kill. And once Hacky drops that Horrify, we can start to see a totally different story unfolding in that team fight.
Keeper's fallen, his shield is already down. This is a last-ditch effort as Hiccup jumps in for the final Shadow Charge combo. Can they find the kill? Session expires with the Molten Core. The core is falling down. It is not going to be saved. And on the day, game number 1, convincingly going to Darksided with a team comp built around Wave Clear, and that's what they did.
Oh, GG. I mean, NMD, they had everything in their field to make a comeback, and like I said, they just didn't respect the anti-dive coming out of Darkseid and how they were going to play that one. So ultimately, it ended up punishing them. It just takes one mistake to really swing the ball back into their favor. But the Darkseid boys, they show us once again why this is their go-to map, Skinny. Very convincingly taking that one out.
And it's good to see, we were discussing this also off air, just to see how teams are almost evolving their play styles. We've always said and characterized Darksided as a team that love to go for aggression. They want to be the ones bringing the fight. They want to be the ones getting in your face and forcing these sort of aggressive skirmishes 24/7. But we saw a bit of a different approach this game. It was all about wave clear, a bit more macro orientated. And this might be a direct result of them after last week saying, we need to improve in these other aspects. Let's try and bring something else to the table. Going into the Season 4 finals, we expect to be there. How do we challenge the greats like Nomia? No final thoughts?
I mean, I was just having a quick look at all the damage numbers. Sorry to leave you hanging there.
I was like, don't just leave me hanging right now. It's too awkward.
I was pondering just the damage numbers as well as just seeing how much value came out. And like you said, a big issue. Oh, sorry, not issue. A big thing that I started to see was just the XP contribution coming out on the side of the Darkseid boys. Each of them really confident in the lanes that they took. So Sashin getting 15k experience for his team, followed by Demise. And that's a split push really coming into a small map like Tomb of the Spider Queen. We can start to see on the side of NMD, that's where they really struggle. The wave clearing potential, like I said, they just didn't have it, and it comes through on the experience. I mean, yes, there were kills happening on the side of Darkseid to assist that, but just based off push, they really played that macro game really well, Skimmy. And like you said, it's stepping up the game going into these Season 4 finals.
Well, that wraps up game number 1. Thanks for joining us, everyone. All 76 off. You get amongst it for some quality ANZ Heroes of the Storm. But for the meantime, back to the one that we call the voice of ANZ. It is Ked Fox.
I love how you threw quality in there. A little bit of ANZ flavour on your Heroes of the Storm steak for the evening.
I like that you got it.
Fantastic work, Skimmy and Verdi. Congratulations to Darksider for picking up the victory there. And say what you will about Lava Wave or Lava Smack, as we like to meme it around here. On a map as small as Tomb of the Spider Queen, it definitely finds value, and we can see that in the gameplay. Congratulations once again to Darksided. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we are giving away 12 loot chest bundles thanks to Blizzard ANZ. We've got not one but 2 of those tonight. One of those will be drawn after the first best of 3 and the other after the second. So you've got 2 opportunities to get in should you be unsuccessful, and hey, you can probably win 2 if you are a lucky chap. So ! GS Hots to enter that one, but we're going to go to a quick break now, 5 minutes or so. So don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more Heroes of the Storm action coming at you right after this.